may have noticed on that last exercise that he was skipping and he was side shuffling. And you might say, hey, I've seen that on your DVDs before. But what you may not have noticed was Ryan didn't have any shoes on when he was doing it. Barefoot training is essential, or it's a critical component in the Parisi training system. Think about it. All of the training that you see, all the posterior chain work, upper body work, all the core work, all of that is to develop strength to be delivered into the ground. And what's scary is the one part or the two parts of the body that connect to the ground are the feet. And whenever I ask people, when I speak at seminars across the world, I'll say, how much time do you spend training your feet? Do you spend as much time training your feet as you do the rest of your body? And usually people say, whoa, train my feet? What are you talking about? I don't train my feet. You know, I squat, I do things, but you always have shoes on. Now, where my philosophy about barefoot training came from was, part of it was when I was a physical therapist. One of the most difficult problems to remedy were problems like heel spurs or plantar fasciitis or Achilles tendonitis, toe injuries, hallux valgus. These were all things that really I started to see were a result of shoe wear, not because their feet were too strong. So what ends up happening in America is when your feet are a problem, you end up putting on a softer shoe or a brace or orthotics, and it even makes the foot weaker. So physical therapy to me is about making a physical change. If I have a shoulder injury and I want to strengthen it, well, why not if I have a foot injury, I want to strengthen that? And then further, I did research and found that in non-industrialized countries, countries where people don't wear shoes, you don't see the incidence of foot problems. But in America, you can go to any drugstore and there's an entire aisle devoted to problems with people's feet. So what that shows is, hey, the feet are probably a weakness in your training and you've got to make sure that you're strengthening it. Little things that we work on just to make sure is that, hey, the hands, right? The hands and the feet have almost identical architecture. It's very interesting. And imagine if your hands were incredibly weak, yet the rest of your body was strong. It would still be the limiting factor in things like deadlifts or chin-ups or curls. You wouldn't be able to do them because the hands are weak, so it results in weakening the rest of the body. And I believe that the same is true for the feet. Studies are out there to show that the strength of the hands later in life actually shows how long you might live. Well, I have a belief that the feet will do the same thing for you. So if you're putting on your shoes the first thing when you wake up and taking them off when you go to bed, you are not strengthening your feet at all throughout the day, and you're not using your feet the way that they should be used. Simple things to do. One, do all your dynamic warm-ups without your shoes on. Now, that being said, make sure you have a nice surface. We have a great turf surface here. This turf surface is very controlled. There's no holes, there's no broken glass. We can control that. If you can control your surface and it's soft, I'm not talking about hardwood floors or out at high school tracks, I'm talking about a soft surface at first, you should start doing some of the warm-up with no shoes on and work up to all of the warm-up. From there, throughout the day, you should be doing toe crunches, crunching the feet, building the integrity of all those muscles in your feet so that the muscles are handling the forces, you're not hanging from the ligaments. Finally, lunge walks. There's a number of different lunge walks series on this DVD that you're going to see. All of them can be performed without shoes on, and you're going to be amazed with the difference that you see. Because when your feet are stronger and you develop better proprioception, I guarantee not only are you going to run faster, you're going to be less injury prone too. So that's my piece on barefoot training. Right now in the community of training, I'm starting to get known as the barefoot training guy. But I'll tell you what, you do it once and you're going to start to be a believer. And why leave that weak link in the chain when you can strengthen it? So work your feet, and I guarantee you're going to see differences in speed.